All right. I'm going to call this experimental theater. I don't know exactly how this is going to play out, but this is the idea. This is the concept here. I'm going to watch an episode of Green Acres, the old television sitcom from the late 60s. And I'm going to watch it with the sound off. And I'm going to watch it without knowing what the plot summary is for this particular episode. And I'm going to try to guess what's going on. And I'm going to make commentary as I go. Now, if you want to follow along, this is from season 2, episode 11. And the name of the episode is A Home Isn't Built in a Day. Now, I'm watching this. I'm not going to tell you what channel this is on. All I can tell you is that, let me back it up a tiny bit. I'm on 0 seconds at the moment. I don't know if I'm going to finish this right now or not. Might take a little bit of experimenting to get this where I want it. Now, back up and give you some preliminary information. About a week ago or so, I got to thinking about what I would like to call the obvious artifice of the supposedly outdoors scenes on this show and shows like it, where they'll have some fake trees in the foreground, but in the background it's clearly just a big photograph or maybe a painted sky or something. And and I don't know why in particular Green Acres occurred to me as a representative of this type of thing, but it did, and I started looking up still photographs of the show on Pinterest and so forth, and they got me interested in seeing the show. But I can't stand laugh tracks. I can't stand the kind of goofy, obvious comedy writing of this time period, and I especially can't stand it with a laugh track. And another thing, it's not just the obvious artifice of the backgrounds; it's also the obvious artifice of the sets of shows like this. Anyway, so let's give this a shot. Now, if you want to follow along at home, like I said, you can find this episode. The time code may not match up exactly. Now, this particular video is marked as being 25 minutes and 23 seconds long. And it starts off with a studio logo from Orion Pictures, which I know for sure was not the original production company. They're just the distributors for this, probably. It's, modern distribution. So anyway, I'm gonna hit the play button now, and we're starting an Orion Pictures release. And now we're driving down the road past. Oh, here Eddie Albert's name is up on the screen, and now Eva Gabor. And now we're flying over the words Green Acres painted on the top of some barn. And I have to guess that was really painted on something. And now we're seeing Eddie Albert's driving by on his little tractor, pretending to bounce up and down for whatever reason. And Eva Gabor is back at their Manhattan penthouse apartment, and she's sneezing because she's anticipating having to breathe in hay. Beautiful Mondrian-esque painting in the background. He's pitching hay in a three-piece suit. Beautiful apartment. Why would they leave that? And he's snatching her because, now watch it. The pitchfork goes boom, boom. Alright, now we're starting the actual episode. That was just the credits. Alright, directed by Richard L. Baer. Alright. Whatever the hell her name is. Eva Gabor is in the kitchen. And the gimmick here is when she closes the refrigerator door, the door on the stove pops open. When she closes the door on the stove, the window falls down. He comes in, and she's trying to tell him about the problems she's having. He opens the window, and she closes this bizarre dishwasher thing, and the refrigerator door flies open again. That, how anybody could cook on an old stove like that, I don't know. But that the counter that the sink is set in, it's so phony looking. That distressed wood is phony. She is pretty, but that accent. I don't really know what her. I mean, I don't know what Magda Gabor looked like, but she really was better looking than Zaza, whatever the hell. With the look at that old phone in the background on the wall, and the stains on the wall where pictures used to be. But you know, when you watch stuff like this, these old things with the sound off, you can pay more attention to the sets, the props, the backdrops, the clothes, everything. The house is so barren. There's a bird nesting in the medicine cabinet. Why isn't there bird shit everywhere? I like her hair piled up on top of her head. I recently looked at the three Gabor sisters. Each one of them was married multiple times. Now why are the bricks around the fireplace? There's clearly not a real fireplace, because the bricks are halfway missing on the wall, but the flue doesn't, I mean, the chimney, whatever, doesn't go up. There's nothing back there. Now look in the background. You can see what I'm talking about with the trees. They're phony. And here comes Alf and Ralph, the brothers, even though one of them's a woman. When I was a little kid, I was confused about that. Why are they brothers if one of them's a woman? That's Sid Milton. He was a comedian. I don't know whatever happened to her. She always wore a hat backwards. I like those white overalls. Painter's overalls. You know, you can almost make out what brand they are. It looks like Dickies. Little tiny logo. Is she crying? Sid Milton was in this movie that was on Mystery Science Theater. Now he's crying about something. Eddie Albert's character is supposed to want to fit in, and he finds all the doings in the town crazy, but yet he wears a three-piece suit to do farm work. So everybody's crazy. And of course he is crazy for leaving Manhattan for this nonsense. This show's really sort of a precursor to The Good Life from Britain, Richard Briers and Penelope, or whatever the hell her name was. What was her name? She was so pretty. Can't think of her name right now. I'm trying to pay attention to the show. And Eva Gabor's character, she sort of understands. She understands the logic of the locals better than he does. But yet she dresses like she's still back in a high-rise apartment, living the good life, the really good life. And they're making a little banter, which I'm sure is interspersed with lots of laugh track. I love the phoniness of everything. Now we're at Mr. Drucker's General Store. Oh, there's Mr. Haney, Pat Buttram. He had that voice. Always gave me the creeps as a kid. One thing that interests me about this show is that the Beverly Hillbillies, and Petticoat Junction were all in the same fictional universe. I'd love to see a map that somebody's drawn to connect the three shows. If I practice, I can do Mr. Haney's voice, Pat Buttram's voice. He was the voice of one of the dogs in the Aristocats. Wasn't he a cowboy actor? I can't remember. I'm not getting him mixed up with Andy Devine. When I was a kid, I'd look at somebody like Pat Buttram and think, oh, he's an old man. He's younger than I am there. It's clear. Oh, there's a fucking ad. Okay, hold on. I'm going to have to... This is going to throw the time off. Alright, we're back on it at 8 minutes. 8:01 now. 8:02. Eddie Albert's... The pattern of his suit is making that weird moire effect. Mr. Drucker's the only person out of all these characters that has the slightest bit of sense. The over-emoting in people's faces on old shows like this is so disturbing. It's like milk everything, milk every line, milk every... Okay, now I guess that was supposed to be an ad break in the original presentation. Now she's in the barn with chickens and a cow. Why is she wearing pearls? And that cow would be shitting constantly. She's reading a book called Cooking is What You Make It. I mean, you would think even a wife with lots of money in a penthouse in Manhattan would know a little bit about cooking. And here comes the, I guess you'd say cooperative extension agent. What is he called? County agent? Kimball, yeah. I did a little bit of research about a week ago on the show, and now I've forgotten everything I learned. I used to watch this show a lot for some reason. I was a kid. It'd come on syndication like every day. That is a beautiful suede jacket he's wearing. Cows don't just spontaneously drop milk out of their udders. You have to squeeze. Why is he talking? It looks like he's talking with his mouth like that. People back then, they had... if you were a character actor, you had a distinctive set of facial expressions you'd make, and that was it. When you're a kid, you watch shows like this, and you think, well, that's how adults really behave. So you learn to create your own distinctive facial expressions and way of talking. And it takes you a while to become a genuine person. Some people never do. Now she's just throwing the eggs uncracked into a pan. What? It didn't even look like they were really going in. That's a beautiful old, is that a Continental? Lincoln Continental? And he's brought somebody over. I guess an architect. And he's got a distinctive facial expression too, distinctive set to his mouth, sort of puckering up his lower lip. And in the background, right behind them, right there, the phony hills in the background. I think one of the reasons that this sort of thing appeals to me, I have an aunt, in her backyard. Whenever we went to visit her backyard sloped down into a valley and came back up on the other side where there was some trees in the distance, and it had that sort of effect where it looked phony. It looked like the backdrop of some Olin Mills studio thing. It really did look phony. Okay. They're all making lots of witty banter with each other and mugging for the camera. Okay. I would assume that they're discussing how the architect guy is going to make improvements to the place that will appeal to his wife and get her to shut up. I wonder what happened to those eggs. What is he? That really is a nice jacket, nice coat. Okay, now the architect guy is sitting on a block of wood in the yard and he's painting or drawing the house. He's done a rendering of what it could look like if you are willing to spin some dough. The costume, that red vest with the pocket watch thing, the chain that Eddie Albert's wearing, even back in New York, that would look stupid. This is 67, I would assume. 66, this show came out. I wonder who did these paintings. These architectural renderings. The architect guy's got a really cool cardigan on. It'd be cool to watch this about 4 or 5 times and then guess what they're saying. That would be really cool. Have a group of people and you all work out what they're saying to the best of your knowledge, and then sort of record your own dialogue over the top of it. If this works out, I may make this an ongoing thing. Watch different shows with the sound off. I mean, this would be a lot of fun to do with another person. Sort of guess what is going on. Let's see where we're at on the time code. We are right now at 15 minutes in, which means there's 10 minutes left to go, and I really don't feel like sitting here. He's gotten the estimate, the financial estimate of what it'll cost to do all this. Why are they cutting back and forth between somebody at an adding machine? Who was that person at the adding machine? How do they heat and cool this place? Where's the power come from? That's some hideous furniture. Presumably at one time this farmhouse was new. Why would you have wallpaper in an old-fashioned farmhouse? They're smooching. Oh, here comes, is the guy's name Ebb? Their handyman, their worker that works for them. His clothing looks, well, there's another ad, okay. Alright, I gotta wait and then skip this ad, hold on. But Ebb, who's supposed to be a worker, a farm laborer, his clothing looks brand new. There's no stains or tears or holes or anything. Alright, we're skipping and we're back in at 16 minutes. Nobody on these shows ever has 5 o'clock shadow. I always hated this Ebb guy because he's just such a moron. That jacket he's wearing is brand new. The pants, the whole outfit. It looks like he just bought it that day. If you're a handyman, farm laborer, you wear clothes that's beat to hell. Alright, that was another ad break for... Okay. Oh, that's right, he used to call up on the telephone pole. Now he's climbing down. He fell! Was that a dummy? Or did somebody really fall? She's not concerned that he fell. They're sleeping in the bed that looks like it came straight from their... Oh, she's wearing a little nightie thing. Let's see some cleavage, honey. What are they doing? I guess they're listening for sounds of work. Why would somebody mortar bricks together so sloppily? Oh, the what do you call it? The closet opens straight out on the outside. And all these workmen are just sitting around doing nothing. Why? He's trying to get some answers. Men wore hats back then. Real hats, not baseball caps. I'd love to live in a world where men are allowed to wear hats. Oh, Ralph and Alf are protesting because they weren't picked to do the work. Even their white overalls are not dirty in any way. Sid Milton's might have a little bit of imaginary scuff marks on it. Oh, beautiful hats. They're clambering into the back of the truck to leave. They're gone. I guarantee that truck's going to go back and forth several times. That's going to be the running gag. Okay, it's taking off again. Now he's bringing them back again. Watch. Watch. Nope, not yet. The woman who plays Alf is so weird looking. When I was a kid, I thought she was actually confused as to whether she was a man or a woman. Oh, this whole scene, the backgrounds are just so clearly either painted or photographs blown up really big. They must be painted. I don't think you could blow up a photograph that big. And it's seamless. The way that the fake trees and things flow into it. Kind of like the cyclorama at the Atlanta Zoo. Oh, old wind-up alarm clock. Oh my God, I've got one of those that belonged to my grandmother. You can almost see her boobs through that thing she's wearing. Okay, the men are back now. The laborers, they're playing cards. Oh, here's Mr. Haney and his whatever the hell kind of truck that is. Look at all the the background scenery. Why is his tie done so poorly? Oh, they're leaving again. Mr. Haney has said something to scare off the workers again. They're driving off, and he's calling them back. I knew it. That might even be the same exact scene. They're driving away again. Okay. I wonder how many more times this will happen by the end of the episode. People watched this. This show was on the air like 7 or 8 years. Was there just nothing better to do back in those days? Eddie Albert, my God. I think Pat Buttram is cross-eyed a little bit. Hi, I can't even do the voice right. Mr. Douglas. Oh. Why would that be? Oh, wow, what's that say? There's a plaque behind the... Huh. Oh, I don't know how much longer I can sit here and watch this. Where are we at? Oh, we haven't got much more to go. Okay, cool. This will be over soon. We're at 22 minutes right now. Ava Gabor. He is cross-eyed. I think we actually would say wall-eyed. Eddie Albert and I believe it was Robert Wagner on a detective show called Switch back in the early 70s. I saw a couple times when I was a kid with my dad. Does Eddie Albert actually have chest hair poking above his pajamas? Hard to believe. Wasn't he in Oklahoma, the movie version? He might have been wearing a weird jacket. They're just standing around in the front yard with their bedclothes on. Alright, now we're back in the kitchen, and there's bizarre stains on the walls. And they're making they're coming to the realization that they're just going to live in the house as is, and they're saying it's not that bad. We can learn to live with this. Living in absolute abject squalor. Oh, honey, it's not that bad. As long as we're together, everything will be fine. And now he's going to open the cabinet door, and something else is going to pop open. Oh, it's stuck. I bet the whole thing falls down. Why did they bring their furniture with them? She opens the refrigerator, and what's going to happen? The stove opens again, and she's learning to. If I want this open, I'll open this over here instead. And oh, the bird is now in the cabinet. And she's hugging him and saying, "Oh yes, I love you, and I came out here to live with you because I'm so committed to our relationship that I'll live like a peasant." And they're kissing, and that's the end of the episode. The phone fell off the wall. Okay, we are done, and now we're into the credits, the end credits. Okay, aerial shots of farmland. Okay, we got about 20 seconds left to go here. Well, thanks for listening to me run my mouth about this. I don't think we'll be continuing at this particular version of experimental theater, but we will. 1966. Okay, cool. Miss Gabor's Gowns by Jean Louis. All right, thanks everybody. Bye bye.